In today's video, I'm going to be tying up some broad beans around the front. I'm also going to be planting out my pumpkins next to the pumpkin arch, and I'll show you some of the storm damage. Hi, I'm Robin. Welcome to Robin's Container Garden. If you follow my Instagram, you'll know that over the weekend we had some unbelievably bad winds, and the peppers, tomatoes, the potatoes, everything just really suffered. They got battered. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a little walk around and show you the storm damage that we did get, and then I'm also going to be tying up the broad beans. They are starting to flower. Masterpiece greens grew from this morning when I left for work, so they are absolutely just going crazy. And so I'm gonna be tying those up and talking to you a little bit about what's going on up there. Then I'm also gonna be planting my pumpkins. Now I'm gonna be planting the pumpkins out. They've been growing and growing. I've had to plant them a couple times for various reasons. But I'm going to be making collars for them with some copper tape, and I'll show you how I do that. And then I'm going to be putting the pumpkins in the ground instead of in containers. The cucumber and the sweet peas are. So you'll see all that today, and hopefully I'll be able to wrap all that up in one video. So let's get going. The broad beans are really growing. I swear to you, they are bigger than they were when I left work this morning. And they are flowering like crazy. All of these are just going nuts. The ones down on that end, the grano violettos, they're flowering too, but they haven't really got going like these guys. These started first. So I'm going to tie these off a little bit. I've got some twine here, and I'm going to plug my Instagram again. If you've watched my Instagram, you see that I put some chicken wire up here and some netting just to kind of give them something to hang on to, and give me something to tie them onto, so they don't fall. Their stalks are quite sturdy. I mean, they're about that big around, so they're quite strong, but I still need to tie them up because if we get any wind like we've had, then they're gone. So I'm also going to go around the other side and tie the ones on that I'm growing behind here. I'm not going to film that bit, but I'll show you how I'm tying these off. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut some string. That's helpful. And then I'm going to I have to be careful because I've planted some more French beans down here. This is where the peas were. I also can see some weeds growing that I didn't get the other day. But I've planted some more French beans here. Until they come up, not exactly, I kind of know where they are, but I don't want to step on where they would be. Now this is going to be a bit tricky. So what I'm doing is I'm not doing like I do with the tomatoes, because I'm not staking them. I'm just tying them up so they don't fall down. And because I've got netting as well as the chicken wire, I have to be quite careful not to tie them too tight. There. That gives him a little bit more stability, and I'll do that with these other guys as well. Now I'm also going to be tying off these masterpiece greens over here, but again, I don't really need to show you that because you've seen this bit. Okay, so before I plant the pumpkins, I'm going to make some little collars for them, and I'll show you a wee video up here. I'll just overlay it. where I've planted the sunflowers out, and I'll also say when I planted them out, because I can't remember. I put these little collars around them with copper tape, and they have not been slugged at all, and they've been out there for a long time. So I'm gonna do this with pumpkins. I had this last year. I used it on my containers last year. I don't have enough to do that with them this year, and I'm just praying that I don't have enough slugs to do any serious damage. So far so good. We've not had like a lot of damp weather, so we should be okay. This is just wide enough. I'm gonna put 2 loops around to make it a little bit wider, because it needs to be wider. You can buy rings that are copper rings, but I'm gardening on a budget, and I need to use what I've got. So these were bits of plastic 2-liter bottles that I used to cover over stuff when it was just getting going, to protect seedlings from any slugs or pigeons, and also from the cold. It's not very cold right now. It's actually about 21 degrees. That's Celsius, by the way. So I'm just continuing to use these. They're 2-liter bottles that we had from various different things that we use in the house, sparkling water and things like that. So what I'm going to do, because this is paper bagged, I'm going to measure it just by wrapping it around. And I know that's how much it is going to take to go around once. I'll stretch it out and cut it. Cut's really easy with scissors. One of the things that I would caution you on if you're using copper tape is that it is really sharp when it comes out of the paper. So be careful you don't cut your finger. I'm going to go ahead and cut that in half because it's just easier to put on. But what I'm going to do is, I've got a little bit of a breeze. I'm hoping that it doesn't blow everything off. I'm not going to take the whole paper off just yet. This is really, really sticky. So what I'm going to do, that's going to probably be about yay deep. I'm going to try to keep this straight. And it's already on crooked, so that's never going to happen. So I'm peeling the paper off as I go around. And my hope is that it'll deter slugs and snails from getting on the pumpkins, because I know they are a favorite of snails and slugs. So there's one circle, and so I'm gonna do the same. If I can get the paper off, I'll do the same right underneath that. This is a little bit curved, so I'm going to put that at the top because that makes it a lot harder to get in the ground. You want the straightest bits to go in underground. So I'm going to start where I left off here. And once you get it on, you just want to push it right down. It's easier if you just let the paper come off as you're doing it, because it is super, super sticky, and it'll twist on itself if you're not careful. I've done that. I don't know how many times I've done that. So I'm just rubbing this down to try to make it as solid as possible onto the bottle. So I'll put it into the ground like this. The plant will still be able to grow up, and it will still be able to get water, and it'll still be able to get sun. So there's no problems with that, and hopefully this will keep the slugs and snails at bay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish these, and I'll just speed that up. I've got a little bit of a gap here. You don't want any gaps at all. So I'm going to measure that. I think just a little strip is going to be enough to cover that up. So cover that up too. It's not pretty, but it'll do. That's the first time I've worked with that stuff. I didn't cut my fingers, so I did actually quite well. So I've got 5 of these. It means I've got 5 baby pumpkins, and I'm going to go get those and get them ready to plant out. And I'll show you how to install these, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about them as we're going on. What we've got here is a bit of a hole. Now, I have miscounted my pumpkins, so my Jack B. Littles, I have 4 of them, but I'm only going to plant 3, because to be fair, and to be honest, I just can't be bothered to dig enough space for the 4 of them, and I don't think that it's a good idea to put them over here like that anyway. I'm putting a little bit of bloodfish and bone into the ground. Nothing but grass has grown here for a long time, so we're gonna get that in there, get it all mixed up. And one thing I forgot to do is get my watering can, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my watering can now. Now what I'm gonna do, plant Jack B. Littles on this side, and we're gonna plant Baby Boos on that side, and hope for the best. So now I've got to split them up without breaking anybody. Alright, they're looking pretty good actually. One there. One there. And sorry buddy, you're getting sacrificed, so. Oh, I can't squat like that. Alrighty. Get him nice and propped up. Firm him in. And as he grows, he'll grow up the side of the archway here. This is really difficult to do with a bad knee. Now you notice I'm not planting them very deep. I'm planting them just deep enough to give them a good footing. Oh gosh, that was murder on my knee. Did I just kill him? No, I didn't. Okay, he's leaning a little bit. I'm gonna get some more dirt around him, I think. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay, so now we've got the 3 guys there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be very careful and get all of their leaves in here. And I'm just gonna seat this down just a bit into the ground and get it kind of firmed up around it. And this is also going to help protect them from the wind a bit as well. So there. And once I get them watered in, they'll be a little bit more firm as well. So get another one. Same thing, just thread him through. And if they come out the top, that's okay, because you're not really worried about that. This one's not, because I've got, this one's a taller one, so he's fine. But this one's a bit shorter, so. Okay, same again. Thread him through. There. Yeah. I'm going to get them watered in really well. And put a little bit of water inside. Not knocking them down. Firm him back up a little bit, and him. He'll be all right in a minute. Once that water drains out, I can firm them back in. But that's the Jack B. Littles. Now, as long as the pigeons don't try to kill them, then they'll be all right. So as I said in the opening, we had some storm damage this weekend. The corn actually pulled through fine. It's really starting to grow now. I was a bit concerned about it, but it's looking pretty good. The tomatoes looks like they may have just scraped by. It's my sun gold, and he's got some flowers coming in, and so does my marglobe. And this is the cherry baby. I can't tell if there's any flowers on there or not. This one had a little bit of wind damage. You can see that's getting a little bit pale there. I'll probably just snip that off, but it's quite low on branches, so I'm a little bit concerned about him. This is one of my Crimson Crush. I've got a backup just in case. This one looks like he has done okay. This is the black cherry tomato, so he's looking all right. He doesn't look like he's suffered too much damage. And this is one of my indigo apples. He's got some little whipped leaves here on the bottom again. I think I'm just gonna have to snip those off and hope for the best. And we've got some damage here on the Legend. He looks like he's about ready to have some flowers too. There's some buds coming in at the top. My aubergines, well, I don't even know what to say about them. I've had to cut off a few leaves. You can see there's some pretty bad damage here on the ends. That's just crispy. It's terrible. I don't know if they're going to survive. They are putting on new growth at the top, so I'm hoping that that replaces some of the leaves. I just don't know. I think we've got some fruit setting, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. The peppers, again, we've had some wind whipping damage. I've had to cut a few bits and pieces off of the peppers, but they seem to have survived. These are my Yolo Wonders, and there's Yolo Wonders down there too. I'm going to show you. I've never seen this before. They're not, let's see if we can get that in focus. Yeah. They're not like diseased or anything. They're just turning kind of a brownie color. I just don't know what's going on with them. This is another one. He's just about all black there, he looks. Now, I've looked it up, and I'm not finding any information about this. They're still really solid. I have no idea what's going on there. The long Italian peppers seems to have, he's doing okay. He's still growing. He's huge. And I've got another one over here that's quite big. Haven't had any new flowers on any of these since the storm, but I'm just waiting. We've got some more fruit looking like they're gonna set. This one probably took the brunt of it. He's one of my Anaheim chilies. I just don't know what's gonna happen with him. He looks a bit sad, but we'll see if there's any new growth coming up. The short stuff did okay. The beetroot's fine. The scarlet kale's fine. I've broken down and planted some more rainbow chard, and it looks like it's trying to come up again. We'll hope that the birds leave it alone. Spinach is looking good. Carrots are looking good. Potatoes, not quite as tall as they were. Remember, they were quite tall. They got battered, big time battered, and I can see still there's some damage that I've not managed to catch. There's some brownish, kind of browning leaves going on, and that kind of thing. They're not as tall, but they're not dead, because this is Wednesday, the 15th? Is this the 15th? I can't remember. Anyway, it's Wednesday. And so they're not dead. This one doesn't look great. This one looks a little bit sad. But there's no snapped stems like deep into them. I just don't know. I fed them on Sunday because the bad storm came on Saturday and I couldn't feed them on that day, but I fed them on Sunday, so I'm really hoping that that they can rally. If this one doesn't, then I'll just tip him out and take whatever potatoes that he's got to give me. He doesn't look very good, does he? But we'll kind of wait and see what happens. So we got a lot done today. The beans are looking great. I'm really pleased with them. I'm happy that I've got the pumpkins in the ground finally, and I'm hoping that they survive and that my little collar experiment worked. Looks that most of everything is going to survive that storm we had on Saturday. So with any luck, we should have lots of things to harvest in the coming weeks, and we'll just kind of go from there. I'm still getting everything prepared for the scarecrows. I'm going to put one round here and one round the back, and then I'm going to flip them back and forth. But that's another video altogether. But that's all I have for you this week. So until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye, y'all.